Wish you could become a morning person? You know the type, up before the sun, early morning runs, first one to the office with donuts and a smile. How do they do it? Easy. With the new Galaxy Watch 8, sleep tracking and personalized insights from Samsung Health help you improve so you can wake up to a whole new you. One who, dare I say it, skips the snooze? It's possible. Train your sleep with Galaxy Watch 8. Learn more at Samsung.com. Requires compatible Samsung Galaxy phone, Samsung Health app, and Samsung account.
For a limited time at McDonald's, get a Big Mac extra value meal for $8. That means 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun, and medium fries, and a drink. We may need to change that jingle.
Prices and participation may vary.
This podcast is supported by FX's English Teacher. Last year's critically acclaimed series returns to follow Evan, Gwen, and Marky as they vie for their students' divided attention. See why Cosmopolitan called its premiere season a masterclass of comedy, while Glamour raved it's the year's funniest and most heartwarming new comedy series. FX's English Teacher, all new Thursdays on FX. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
The family that vacations together stays together. At least, that was the plan. Except now, the Dastardly desk clerk is saying he can't confirm your connecting rooms.
Wait, what?
That's right, ma'am. You have rooms 201 and 709.
No, we cannot be 5 floors away from our kids.
The doors have double locks. They'll be fine.
When you want connecting rooms confirmed before you arrive, it matters where you stay.
Welcome to Hilton. I see your connecting rooms are already confirmed.
Hilton, for the stay.
Tom, what convenience store junk food should be elevated to haute cuisine?
Ooh, I'm going to go with crushed Pringles sour cream and onion chips.
And what are you going to do with that shit?
I think I'm going to put it as a breadcrumb on like a kind of a steak sauce or something like that. Maybe with some caramelized onions and throw a little bit of crunch on top of that.
Works for me. This is Pack Your Knives. I'm Kevin Arnovitz.
And I'm Tom Haberstroh.
Tom, season 6 rewatch, getting to sort of the halfway mark. 9 chefs left. We're in Vegas. There is some interpersonal conflict. There's also just a clear demarcation between the high and the low in the kitchen.
We are separating the wheat from the chaff, right? Like, this was the episode where if you didn't realize that there were 4 clear front runners in this competition, we had those 4 contestants meet at the final elimination challenge here. So it was the only chefs that have won a competition at elimination competition entering this episode was Brian Voltaggio, who had 3 wins, Kevin, who had 2 wins, and then we had Jen and Michael Voltaggio split, both having a win. So if you are going to design a perfect murderer's row of 4 top chefs in an elimination challenge at the judges' table, it would go Brian Voltaggio, Michael Voltaggio, Kevin, and Jen. And here we are, episode 8, and all 4 of them have made it to the final stage. And I think, if you're watching this cold, you're like, man, that might be the finalists.
Yeah, it was so interesting how, and we'll get to the elimination, that you could almost, the divisions were perfectly delineated, right? You had the top 4 are truly the top 4. The bottom 3 are just pumping along. And then you got sort of the 500 players, sort of middle of the pack, Isabella and Eli, which, by the way, can change at any moment. But we've had such interesting seasons recently that you just forget what a season looks like. It's kind of like watching baseball back in the 80s. Like, you just knew, like, look, the Cardinals and the Phillies are going to be up in the top part of the division. And then, like, it just, you kind of knew going in, maybe there would be a surprise or not, but you knew what you were getting into. The NBA was like that too, where there are no surprises. There's no parity. These are the really good teams. These are the really bad teams. And these are the teams that could go either way. The quick fire, Charlie Palmer, pioneer of American cooking. That's a real heavyweight for them, Tom.
Yeah, and I look at this guy and I don't know too much about him. Maybe you can fill me in here, but he's got a mean light mustache. You never really see light mustaches
little
anymore.
pencil kind of
usually you see mustaches that are fully grown in, that have been, cut off, tapered from a full beard. But no, Charlie Palmer's like, I'm going to grow in my mustache. You never really see that anymore.
No, it's kind of like a bad guy in a James Cagney movie, kind of a little bit.
Yes. And I don't know whether he always does that look or he's just freshly cut after a couple days and he wants to get that mustache back. But this is interesting because it's a little bit of an inside job here, Kevin, with the Voltaggio brothers both working for him, and Brian Voltaggio. This is like Derek Jones Jr. being in the dunk contest with Dwayne Wade being the judge. Like, these guys are longtime teammates, and I don't know if I'm Robin or if I'm Isabella or if I'm Jen. I'm feeling real good about a Voltaggio mentor being a judge for the quickfire.
Yeah, I gotta say, I would file a protest with the league office if I
would too.
So it's I believe Charlie Palmer Steak. One of our recent guests in the past couple seasons, I felt like cut their teeth at a Charlie Palmer Steak, and now I can't remember. So I'm just
we know Brian Voltaggio worked there for 10 years,
right? We know that. But I think there might have been others. I forget. But
so he's got like a pop tree, is what you're saying?
I think he does have a tree, and he's huge in Healdsburg, which, by the way, Healdsburg, California, which is where his Pinky Pinot Festival is going to be, is where I broke my wrist in 1997. I'll have you know.
Okay.
I spent a full afternoon in an emergency room in Healdsburg, fell off my bike, and so it will always be the answer to a trivia question in my world. But it's basically his culinary capital now. So there's that.
Oh, wow.
I like this episode, all things considered. I think for when you consider the quickfire and the elimination challenge, just in terms of competition, per our cold open, the incorporate a snack food into your thing. I love Funyuns. That would have been the answer. Which, by the way, the Funyuns are kind of a cousin of your delicious, I will say, Pringles sour cream and onion Pringle is a fine product, Tom.
Kevin, I just spent a week with my extended family in a house, very much like the road rules, real world aspect of this episode, where I think for the first time all season, we got like true, like road rules, real world, like this was a reality TV show. And one of the things that I was so happy about while I was out with my family is that my niece and nephew love sour cream and onion Pringles.
Who doesn't?
And they brought it, Kevin, and it was like opening up, just an old pack of baseball cards. The smell comes back, and you chomp into a couple of them. Sometimes you might do the little duck thing where you flip over one of them into a duck bill in your mouth. Pringles, it's not just the marketing, once you pop, you can't stop. That's real. That's not fake. Like, once you pop one Pringle, you can't stop eating them, I found, and it is delicious. I love the Pringles. It is. I don't think it's real. They might not even be made out of potatoes. I don't care. It's a brilliant marketing.
42% potato.
Shut up.
42%.
What's the other 58, Kevin?
I'm not going to tell you.
I don't want to know.
I
don't want to know. Maybe it's just deliciousness. The other 58% is delicious. How about that?
It's a great play. And I'll tell you, you're gonna laugh. I do love your sour cream and onion. I'll take good old plain, like a good old plain Pringles. You don't have to wasabi that up. You don't have to give me your barbecue sauce. I don't need your ranch. I don't need your hot and spicy. Like good old fashioned straight up red.
Wait, do you
can.
do like the are you aficionado of the like regular Lay's?
I'm not. Can I just say this? I'm not much of a Frito-Lay guy. You don't get me with Cheetos. You don't get me with Lays. You don't get me with Fritos.
I know what it's about. I'm not hygiene.
No, it's not even. No, it's not. The orange. The orange shit on the fingers, notwithstanding. I don't think Frito-Lay does a great product. I don't think there's Doritos. Yes, okay, Doritos have a certain place, but I think did you used to get that little variety pack for like camp and stuff?
Oh yeah, yes.
And nobody wanted anything other than the Doritos. You'd be sitting there in the back of the pantry would be like a bunch of old leftover Fritos bags and freaking regular Lays. Nobody.
Look, I'm going to push back on your Frito hate here.
Cheetos.
So Fritos, I love because of the salt. I feel like they're the saltiest of the pack.
They're fine, but it's corn. Who cares? And the truth of it is also, I mean, Cheetos have their charm. I know people love Cheetos. Give me the Planters cheese ball any day over Cheetos.
Ooh,
give me a Planters cheese ball, Tom.
Yeah, and they're way more fun to eat.
Yeah, and also they don't
toss them in the air a little bit.
Not as much schmutz on the fingers. Don't like the schmutz on the fingers. Don't like powdered orange shit on my hands.
See, that's what I think it's about. You might say it's not about the powdered shit or like the grease, but that's what I think it's about with the Lays.
Look. I know you're trying to shame me as a germaphobe, but like, dude, I'll pick up a full rack of ribs. I don't care about getting things. It's not that. It's the granularity. Anyway, let's move back.
To go back to the episode, right. Kevin, yeah. I've got 2 kids, and
that's your problem.
There's nothing there's nothing better than food that if you're out for the day and you just need to whip up something healthy or something like sweet potato fries, get it out of the freezer, throw it in the oven, and boom, it's done. It's ready to go. Chicken nuggets, whatever organic chicken nuggets that my wife buys. I'm all for the frozen thing that you can just throw it into the oven and then it'll be ready. So this Alexia snacks, I'm pretty sure we've used Alexia, and this is Alexia, if you're listening, please sponsor the show. They actually, I think, have been in my house before. So I looked it up trying to see if this company, I did a kind of like, where are they now for this snack? I think we've actually done some Alexia in this house.
Interesting. I love, but back to the Funyuns to me are just a great item. And which I think the Onion Alexia is essentially an off-brand Funyun. But actually, if we're trying to get them as
an elevated
it's a
Funyun,
really bad pitch, yeah, an elevated Funyun. I mean, it was. I don't think there was anything particularly notable about this quickfire. Do you have any takeaways? I mean, Robin finished on the bottom again, along with Jen Carroll, rare bottom finish. But
did you catch her trying to air condition her pork chop?
Yeah, and like she knew it right away. Man, she's like, pork chop's overdone. What are you going to do? And then Ash with his classic. I know he was gonna build a world, and then it ended up being just a chilled soup. Barbecue chips on the side. That was painful. And then everybody's Beta Noir. No, she's not really a Beta Noir. She's more just she's not even a villain. She's just sort of she's like Piggy in Lord of the Flies. Robin, just with her sweet corn panna cotta did not rate well.
I got really confused. I thought that they were supposed to incorporate the snack within the dish, and then I got a little confused once they started displaying the dish, like, oh, what did you do here? And then they showed the food porn shot of their dish, and they had a little like bowl of their snack on the side. And I was like, wait, so are they pairing the snack with the dish? No, it was a little bit of a red herring there. I thought it was they're incorporating the dish within the dish, and they did that, yes. But they also had like a side dish of their snack just to kind of do an ad, product placement, whatever. So I was a little bit confused about this, but I think going the onion route was very smart because I think onion is, like we said, with the Funyun and the sour cream and onion Pringles, kind of crunch it up into breadcrumbs, and it's really good. Are you a fan, on the Funyun question, are you a fan of putting like an onion ring on your burger?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love onions, and I love onion rings, and I love artificially flavored onion, and I love naturally flavored onions. I love that onions can fry up. I love that they can be caramelized. Like onions really, like if you want to, like the great haul of the most underrated edible food in this, as opposed to the inedible foods in this world, are onions. Onions get no respect. They're in everything. You need them. You really can't even cook without them. There are certain civilizations where nothing grows, where the onion is like a staple. Onions are amazing. And yet, they're just never get a lot of gloss. The only place that has ever really fully honored the onion is Longhorn Steaks, the onion blossom, right? Or am I getting
no, that
Outback
Steakhouse.
Outback. Oh my God! Look,
I've actually in college, Kevin, my sophomore year, I didn't have much cash on me, and the seniors in my fraternity. Yes, I was in a fraternity. The seniors in my fraternity walked into my room. They're like, "Hey, we're going to Outback Steakhouse. You want in?" I said, guys, I don't have any cash on me. Like, I don't think I can go out to dinner with you guys. I'm going to go on campus and grab some food. And they go, "I will pay your entire meal if you can eat an entire bloomin' onion and a platter of loaded cheese fries before we get our entrees." And I said, done. So Kevin, I sat there. I was 19 years old at Outback Steakhouse. I was prime eating shape, prime appetite. I could eat an entire tire at this point. And I put down a bloomin' onion and a platter of loaded cheese fries. Loaded cheese fries got bacon and stuff on it. Well before they got their entrees. So I got a free meal out of that. The bloomin' onion is delicious. I love a good bloomin' onion from Outback.
Yeah, I mean, varsity onion rings in Atlanta, Georgia come a close second for me. Probably actually at number one for me. But the onion just doesn't get highlighted. I think you could do like a Top Chef onion challenge. I'm sure probably there has been one over 17 seasons, but Kevin, I disrespect onions. I'm even a hypocrite myself. You know why? Because I've started bumping out onions in favor of shallots for whenever onions are called for. Ever since I read Bourdain's Kitchen Confidential, like shallots are the great secret weapon. So even as I sit here and honor onions, I disrespect onions all the time by upgrading
in the
shallots.
veggie March Madness tournament. It's onion
not really a
three
veggie.
Seed?
It's not really
what?
It's a
fruit?
root.
Is it fruit?
It's an onion. I mean, that's kind of the brilliant thing about onions. Like they're not even really. It's not like they're not really a vegetable. I mean, they are, but they're not. It's not like there's leafy green, not even like a carrot or a turnip or a parsnip. It's just they're onions. They're onions. They are there to service everything else. Even in your bloomin' onion, they're really there to service the batter. They're a vehicle.
No,
they're vehicular food.
You know what I don't like though, Kevin, is when you bite into an onion ring softly. If you do a soft bite into an onion ring, you just pull out the onion.
Oh, you do that? Those varsity onion rings do that.
Yeah, you don't want to do the pull. Like you got to really chomp.
No, because it's fine. Because then you get you have all that yummy batter and crispy.
Wait, so you prefer to pull out the?
There's
the
no
whole
bad
onion
way
out
to
of
eat
there?
a varsity onion ring. There is no bad way to eat a varsity onion ring. So speaking of varsity in Atlanta, the two Atlantans were in the top 3 of the Quickfire Challenge. Eli comes strong, wins it all. Tom wins the full Quickfire, his first win with a clam and warm potato salad with a cold fennel celery salad.
Up until this point, I didn't really respect him as a true contestant until this Quickfire, where he had that dish. It looked beautiful. It looked like something that Brian Voltaggio would make. It was a strong dish, and we kind of got a lot of vignettes in this one with Eli, like a little bit of I live at home with my parents in Atlanta. He's 25 years old, so he's definitely in the very spirit of Top Chef, one of those prospects, up and comers that really just came out strong in this episode.
Yeah, and Kevin is cooking his ass off right now in this season. He is cooking his ass off. Warm bean salad, tomato confit. I'm always amazed when I see a dish because I do tomato confit straight out of the Jelena cookbook, but you got to take like 2.5 hours for that shit. You got to first of all, you got to kind of peel the skins. You got to cover it in oil. Then you got to that's the confit. It's got to sit in the fat. And I'm always amazed when a guy like Kevin can just come out in 20, 30 minutes and do a tomato confit salad. Like, I don't know how he's expediting that, but he's doing it. And he has his little cream corn. It was such a great Southern dish. And then Brian Voltaggio keeps it simple. I don't know why more people didn't do this. A little seared ribeye using that onion product. I mean, onion and ribeye. What else do you want? Like this was easy.
That's what I'm thinking in my head, Kevin, is the Brian Voltaggio dish. Now once again, always the bridesmaid, never the bride on the Quickfire. Came this close. Eli, you got to let down a little bit and give Brian Voltaggio the Quickfire. So close to winning that first Quickfire. Now, His brother, Michael Voltaggio, didn't get in the top 3 here. And I just want to note, Michael at the top of the show said, hey, Babe Ruth struck out once or twice in his career, but still built like a Hall of Fame legacy. And I plan on doing that the same thing. Kevin, of course, we got to talk some baseball.
Yeah,
here.
I have this note too. You just go, because I had the same note. You rip it off here.
Okay, so Babe Ruth, obviously known for his once or twice. Babe Ruth was the most amazing home run hitter until Barry Bonds happens, right? Like, so you see, he led the league, the American League, in home runs for 12 times. He led the American League in walks 11 times. What people don't know is that he led the league in strikeouts 5 seasons. Now, he didn't quite have over 100 strikeouts in a season, but man, by the time he was done, he struck out 1,330 times in his career. He was, as people use the term now, a real 3-outcome hitter. Home runs, strikeouts, and walks. He was a guy who could play in modern-day baseball, but make no mistake about it, this guy struck out more than once or twice in his career.
Yes, the Rob Deere of his time. The Dave Kingman of his time.
I was going to go with Dave Kingman there. Yeah.
Dave Kingman, who was truly obnoxious. I just got this old book. So prior to your time, Tom, in 1984, there's this fun little paperback called Baseball's Greatest Insults, which is just a compendium, really, of like all these great people used to talk shit in sports. People think they talk trash now. Like, people would go on the record in sports, like about a teammate, about their manager, about their owner. And it was great. So there's a compendium, and there's an entire section devoted to Dave Kingman. He was so hated in baseball. It's a totally next time you're out here, you got to take a spin through this book. But I thought the Elimination Challenge, great optics, the drawing of the knives, Tom. We got Pig and Pinot. It's a big ask, 150 tasting portions. I always love the stress that's added when you see all those people like lined up coming to like hit the table, and you got to get 150 things out there. They do such a great job with that. They had to draft wines, which was interesting.
All right, so I'm not a wine snob. I haven't gotten into it yet. I'm still in my bourbon phase. And so
that's a good phase. You don't got to come out of that phase. That's a good phase to stay in, my friend. There are plenty of wine snobs out there.
So let me ask you, did you know some of these wines?
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny. The Riccioli is one that it's just a really solid California Pinot, and it was the first taken. The thing that surprised me was, like, nobody went for the Chevreuse. Like, so there are a couple of the red Burgundies on the table. And I'm not going to say that, like, look, there's California Pinot that's beautiful, but like red Burgundy is just really lovely. And I was shocked that Jen, and I think she was shocked. Like, she was 6 or 7, and she was the first one to go Burgundy. So I was just kind of that surprised me, is that people were just taking the Americans and leaving these lovely soft Pinots from Burgundy. And that's really kind of their distinction. They're a little more earthy. They tend to be softer, a little more finessed. There are a lot of like big California Pinots, not big in the cab sense, but, you know, just like bigger, more New World. And so I was shocked they were left on the board.
Can I ask you a dumb question, Kevin?
No. Yeah.
I'm going to.
Hello, listener. It's Producer Maze here to talk to you about Quince and their cookware. Cooler nights mean cozy meals at home, and Quince's cookware has made fall cooking so much more enjoyable. Their pieces deliver the quality and performance of luxury brands, but at a price that makes sense. And they look gorgeous on the stovetop, too. No matter what item you need to complete your kitchen, Quince has you covered. With 5-ply stainless steel pots and pans, nonstick skillets, chef-quality knives, and even ceramic bakeware, which is perfect for cozy casseroles or Sunday roasts. And when you look at these prices, you might think, how is Quince doing this? How do they deliver high-quality items similar to high-end brands that are half the price? Well, let me tell you, they partner directly with ethical top-tier factories to cut out the middlemen and pass the savings on to you. And it's not just cookware. I got myself some bath sheets. That's right. When you're a tall man, you have to use bath sheets, not bath towels from Quince. It's like drying off with the cloud. It's incredible. Upgrade your kitchen for cozy fall meals with premium cookware from Quince. Go to quince.com/dings for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/dings, DINGS, to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dings.
Listener, listen up. This is important, okay? I'm going to try to save you some money here. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. You may think like, oh, that's bad. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. You heard that correctly. $15 per month. Ditch overpriced wireless and the jaw-dropping monthly bills. And of course, there are all these hidden fees and stuff, but at Mint Mobile, plans start at $15 per month. All the plans come with high-speed data, unlimited talk and text. You're not doing like weekend and nighttime minutes or anything like that. And it's delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone. Don't have to get a new phone. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. I switched months ago. People have asked, did you actually switch? Yes, I actually switched months ago. And I don't know what to do with all this extra money. I've cheated the system here. I've rigged something. This is an Ocean's 11 situation where I'm stealing wireless from Mint. That's how good a deal it is. Ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/dings. That's DINGS. That's mintmobile.com/dings. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Hello, listener. It's producer Maze here to talk to you about Kindred. Now, close your eyes like Owen Wilson during a job interview and imagine a way to travel that feels personal, comfortable, and connected without the price tags and the sterile feelings of hotels or short-term rentals. Now open your eyes and stop using your imagination because Kindred has made it very real. That's exactly what they do. Kindred is a members-only home swapping network. It's not a hotel. It's not a short-term rental. It's a smarter way to travel where each stay feels like home. Here's how it works. With Kindred, your home is your ticket. You earn credits by hosting fellow Kindred members, and then you use those credits to stay in over 220,000 homes in more than 100 cities worldwide. There are no hotel costs or rental fees, just the credits that you've earned. Every stay comes with white glove service, 24/7 trip support, and $100,000 in host protection. Make it easier for you to travel and enjoy yourself and not worry about details. I've used Kindred and I found an amazing home for a weekend getaway in an idyllic location with amazing views and great ambiance. It had everything I needed. And the best part was, it cost me $0. So apply now at livekindred.com and use code DINGS to join for free. Plus, you'll earn 5 nights of travel credit just for signing up. That's right, that's 5 whole nights for free at livekindred, KINDRED.com, code DINGS, DINGS, livekindred.com, code DINGS.
This episode is brought to you by 20th Century Studios' new film, Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere, starring Golden Globe winner Jeremy Allen White and Academy Award nominee Jeremy Strong. Scott Cooper, the director of the Academy Award-winning movie Crazy Heart, brings you the story of the most pivotal chapter in the life of an icon. Springsteen, Deliver Me From Nowhere. Only in theaters October 24th. Get your tickets now.
How do you top your love for your cat? With a cascade of decadent savory gravy over a mouth-watering mousse pâté. Fancy Feast gems. 2 gourmet pâtés in one convenient pack. Simply peel and plate to reveal a pyramid shape that makes eating delightful and pamper her with an experience as extraordinary as she is. Turn the everyday into the extraordinary with Fancy Feast gems.
When they talk about you need like a big flavors to balance out a big red, like Charlie Perlman mentioned this, which was like, hey, if you're going to have a big cab, you need to really come out with like a big red wine, a big red. I always thought that like you don't want to fight fire with fire. And with wine pairings, do you really want to go with like a big, bold dish to balance out a big red? Like, that didn't really make sense. Wouldn't you want something a little bit lighter so it's not heavy?
I mean, that's totally intuitive, right? The way I kind of think of it is like, think about having like a big set of like of drays on your head, right? Like one ear headphones, like one ear in the other ear. It's weird to listen to music when one ear is much louder than the other ear, right? Like you can listen to it and it's still a great melody. You can hear the harmony, but it's just like something's off when one of your ears is either tighter or louder or softer than the other. They're not kind of, and I think that's kind of the thing with like wine and food. So intuitively, yeah, I don't want this big wine, but you need it to sort of you need it to sort of match. Like if you're gonna have this big steak, a big cab or an Amarone, if you like big Italian wines, will sort of not so it will highlight the sheer bigness of the beef, the sheer just meatiness of it will be complemented. It's not so much to offset. It's sort of it's a compliment.
It's not to balance it out.
No, it's not really to balance.
Right.
It's more
that's
to
where I'm tripping up
accentuate.
here.
It's more to frame. It's more kind of, it's along for the ride. And vice versa. I think that's more it. I'm not articulating this very well, but the headphone thing is kind of the first thing that came to mind. Was just like, yeah, actually you do need them to be sort of in the same, kind of equal amplification there.
Okay, so if you have a light fish, you want a light wine. Like I always associate, if you have like a white fish, you want to have like a Pinot Grigio or something like that, a Sauvignon Blanc or something like that.
Right, like you like a nice white or even like a lighter, brighter red that is just not as like if you have fish.
Because I always consider cooking, you want to like hit a big flavor with some acidity to cut it. But that's not really what you're doing with wine. I guess maybe you
got tannins. You got tannins, which are not really acidity at all, but like there's astringency there, right? It kind of it can cut down the size of a wine in a good way.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, it's wines. I mean, I would have had trouble with this. Like I think I'll be honest, like without having to get to taste all 9. Like once you start saying, well, this Pinot would have been okay with this, but not this Pinot. Like that's a little advanced for me. I mean, I know the difference between a big Pinot versus an earthier Pinot versus sort of a Pinot with more finesse or a more tannic Pinot, but I'm not like, I can't get that far deep. I'm not there.
Yeah, I'm not there either. And it sounded like Robin didn't really know what she was doing with this one. She'd probably be on the same level as me, is just making it up as you go along. And I like this challenge a lot because not only do you have to flex your pork knowledge, but also you have to flex a little bit of the wine pairing. And as Brian Voltaggio said, I consider wine as part of the ingredient when I'm cooking a dish. But Eli comes in here strong again, where he says he cooks in a restaurant with like over 110 wine pairings for his dishes or like something like that. And then they had like the big trapeze artist who's flying the wine angels that are flying in the air. And I don't understand why they got to like move their legs in the air, but apparently it's part of the whole like Cirque du Soleil aspect of it. I've never been to this restaurant or been to a restaurant like this that has that gimmick. But the point is, Eli, even though he's 25 years old, he knows his shit.
Yeah, I mean, he was a really interesting contestant this week. He didn't finish neither on the top or the bottom, but he also, what I thought was very interesting, and every once in a while you get to see kind of consensus chef culture rear itself, is it's probably second nature to them. It took me a while and probably you a while. It's like everyone was like, oh, you lucky guy. Like Charlie himself said, you lucky guy, you drew pork belly. Now, yeah. And I think the implication is, it's fatty. You can do a lot with it. It's pretty, to me, the interpretation for me is I want pork belly in this situation because it's really hard to fuck up pork belly. Like there's just so much fat content. It's so forgiving. And it's also just because it's going to taste good. Yeah. But I did think it was not lost on me that when he drew pork belly, he was like lucky guy. And then Jen, who had the wild card, didn't think twice. She took pork belly.
Jen is just the best. And not just because we had her on the pod last week, but she comes up with the pork belly bean, like summer elevated pork and beans with the soy sauce broth. I mean, you know what? I got to hand it to her. I don't think I said it on the show with her. Just give me anything with like a soup or a broth or something like that. She does it here too. And they loved her dish. And I just think anything, like even soup dumplings, like it's just delicious. Once you throw a little bit of soup, and I'm a guy who, like, when I grew up as a kid, 2 out of the 7 days lunch would be a ramen noodle. Like I would just take the raw, and I was this weird kid that sometimes I wouldn't even cook it. I would just munch on the ramen noodle raw.
That's weird. And I have some
Kevin,
weird
you
eating
also,
habits. I know I eat chicken raw. I know.
And you eat your cereal with half and half. So like the thing that I would do is I would sprinkle the chicken flavored packet, dust it onto the top of the ramen, basically fillet, this block of raw ramen noodle, and I would eat it just straight up, and it was delicious. Now, I am coming in here with a bias that I loved soup as a kid, still do love soup. Like I eat a lot of tomato bisque here in the house. Like I love it. It's great. Now, I think Jen has figured out that in her restaurant and in Top Chef, it always does well. If you throw in a little bit of, broth or consomme, something with a little soup in it, it's going to do well. But I will say this, Kevin, I really enjoyed the Eli and Robin beef. Like that one, it was great. I enjoyed it. Eli was cooking in the kitchen, and Robin and him were just going after it about cleaning, and they were just, bitching at each other. And weirdly enough, Michael Voltaggio was guessing that they've hooked up, that they were like, he was trying to hook up with and flirting with Robin. Now, what was your take? Did you see Eli as flirting with Robin, or
I see Voltaggio trolling Eli. That's just kind of what's going on there. I don't think there's anything. Hey, I could be wrong. Strange things can happen when you detain people in a reality show environment and you sequester them half the time and then make them like work without compensation the other time. But no, man, I was just like, that was sort of the cutaway. They have these funny little cutaways, bumps before and after the commercial. Was it like Eli's the guy you can just screw with in a totally lovable way, and it's fun, it's sport.
When they called her Rotten Robin, I was like, that is. I mean, at least she's playing it off. She's playing along for the joke. And I know Eli said, "You're not my mother," and she goes, "Well, if I was your mother, I would have raised you better." And I was like, oh. So I'm sure his mother was watching, no doubt. If he's living at home, I'm sure his mother was watching Top Chef. But, I get it. If I'm Eli and she's just yapping my ear off, and I'm sure at that point it's just like, shut up already. And we talked to Jen last week about this, is just, she was an earful for sure. And I thought that was a lot of fun. A lot of Road Rules Real World dynamics here.
Yeah, she's needy, and I think, and I don't say that with any disdain. She's clearly needy, and that's sort of my armchair analysis of just the need to have connection with a conversation that's really only one sided. Just the need to both be in the way and be the mom. There's a certain neediness there. Jen's such a fun chef to watch because she takes the pork belly but goes the other way. She's somehow going to make it. She's going to braise it in soy sauce and make it light. I don't know a chef on this show in recent memory who does a better job at kind of finessing the unfinessable. Like, she can take heavy food and just turn it into a bright dish, and it's not something I'm even close to even knowing how to do. It's like if I do a heavy dish for you, Tom, it's going to be heavy, it's going to be lovely, it's going to be robust and yummy and savory, and you're going to walk out of my house with with your belt unbuckled and that's great. But she's somehow able to take like dishes that should not be light, or ingredients that should not be light, and compose just bright, light, just finessed dishes. And I love her game. And I'm it's not just because we had a conversation with her, just watching her each of the last 2 seasons. I've come like this. These are skills I want to learn. Let's just say
she's in so much control.
Yeah.
Like, she just knows what she's going to do. And no doubt that she was going to be in the top one on this one, Kevin. And speaking of Kevin, your namesake, this was a Kevin episode.
Oh, how much pride. Like, he won the pork challenge. Is there anybody has there ever been anyone more happy to win I mean, maybe some of those family and story ones that get really personal and people get really emotional. But I mean, in terms of just a non-personal, non-familial elimination challenge, has anybody been more overjoyed, and rightly so, to win? Like, he won the pork challenge. Of course Kevin wins the pork challenge. He should win the pork challenge. The cosmos would be misaligned if he didn't win the pork challenge. He takes that pork leg, and what does he do? Tom, he's not just doing up his, braise a pork shoulder, do pulled pork. No, he makes a pate. Not what I saw coming, Tom Haberstroh.
No.
I thought he'd do like that. I thought it was going to be like a fucking Flintstones pork leg. I didn't know what he was going to do. And he comes out and says, I'm going to do a pate. I'm like, really?
Yeah. And not only that, like he knows pork better than anybody maybe on the planet, right? And he knows that the pork leg is going to be lean. So what does he do? He goes straight to the butcher and says, give me pork belly and get me bacon or pork belly and also all the lard that you have to compensate for how light or lean this leg is going to be. So, what's funny is I didn't even know that you could do that. I thought like if whatever pork portion that you got, you had to just roll with that. But no, he's like, no, I know pork. So I'm going to go and compensate and just get the best version of the pork dish that I can to compensate this particular leg of pig. And so he just totally owns this dish with the terrine and the hazelnuts. And he's actually like, when he started describing the vineyard with I know that they used in the vineyard hazelnuts and it has a note of hazelnuts. I was like, this guy is Michael Jordan against the Celtics in that series when he goes for 60 plus. Like, he was so in his element on here. There was no doubt in my mind. As soon as he pulled that leg of lamb or leg of pork, when he pulled his knife and he had that look on his face, like, yep, got this. I know what I'm doing. I mean, you could have handed him the W right there.
I would also say rendering the fat into a mayo is super cool too.
This was a Kevin episode for sure. And I'm wondering, Kevin, do you think he was more excited about doing the pig and Pinot event as part of his prize?
I think in terms of prize, it was endearing because it's so clearly, yeah, maybe he'd rather have 25 grand or something, but like, if you're not going to have a monetary prize, I think that's about as beautiful a prize and appropriate a prize for a challenge winner as you can get. And so I was very happy for him, just because it's like nobody loves pork or nobody loves anything as much as Kevin Gillespie loves pork. And so that was great. Both Voltaggio brothers had a nice showing. It's also funny. I did not ever have Michael Voltaggio braising anything in root beer.
Me neither.
Did not see that one coming.
Especially for that chef.
Yeah.
Like when he was thinking like, I gotta impress Charlie Palmer because, I've got a chip on my shoulder, only worked there for a year. And Brian Voltaggio says that he hates me. I thought he was going to do something very, very just technical and something very sophisticated. Maybe it was like actually making a root beer dish, but I never would have thought that he would have been like, you know what, I'm going to do root beer.
It's just a totally downscale alternative for an upscale guy.
Yeah, didn't see that coming. And he doesn't win with that dish. Brian Voltaggio and him got in a little fight over the Gladware, which I appreciate as someone with, 2 older brothers, and one brother during this week was trying to bully me on the ping pong table. And he was like, being condescending on a hit. I tried to spike it and just like send it into the next county. And he was like, Tom, why are you doing that? Very condescending. And I was like, you know what? I'm beating you, motherfucker. I know you're my older brother and I'm punching above my weight here, but I'm actually beating you 6-3 in this game right now. So don't give me what are you doing, young child? What are you doing, little brother? And Michael Voltaggio is doing the same thing with the Gladware. Like, beat it, motherfucker. I'm using the saran wrap here, or the Gladware, sorry. And you know what? Step aside. I got to use this here. And I get it. As a younger brother who has a bullying older brother sometimes, I'm totally with that.
Yeah, there was a little trolling there too as well.
Yeah.
I wasn't completely buying it, but Maybe that's me.
Yeah, he was just, pulling roll after roll at some point just to stick it to his older brother. I get that too.
It's funny. Brian does a very safe dish and it works. And I kind of respect the safeness of it. He is sometimes, it's funny, for a guy who does play around with textures and is clearly part of the new school, he often does go safe, but to a very good effect. I mean, he's going to get 4 hours for ribs that should be probably braised 8 to 12 hours by his estimation, but he puts it with a parsnip puree and more starter. Like it's a dish that makes sense. Probably I'm not going to win him anything, but we'll get him on top. I thought, Michael Voltaggio had a really interesting comment that I was thinking about. And I'm kind of going through the catalog of my favorite chefs in my head, seeing how to say. He says that a chef who stays in one place, like his brother, Brian, who worked in Paul's kitchen for
10 years.
Versus a nomad of a chef. Chefs who kind of, kind of are protean. They kind of hang around. Maybe they go to a different country. Maybe they do a different experience. I'm going to do this for a few years. And then I used to do Asian flavors, but now I'm just sort of it is interesting. And it's sort of a great proxy for life, right? Do you want to be someone who has one career or somebody who has 5 or, hey, I always like when you'll see a byline in the New York Times or somewhere, and it's like, oh, this person was the bureau chief in Cairo, and then wrote about sports, and then covered Capitol Hill and campaigns, and then wrote a book that they spent 2 years researching on true crime and the north of England or something. And I just do. There's a certain which is a better route, and the answer is there's no such thing as a better route, but just those who choose to kind of to learn under one circumstance or under one mentor versus those who sort of are nomadic in their craft.
Yeah, and usually if you're starring at one chef or one restaurant, you want to keep it going, but some want to just, leave, buy low and sell high and move on to the next one. I think about LeBron versus Larry Bird, just the loyalty of Larry Bird playing in Boston, or LeBron and being like, you know what, I'm good here, I'm going to go to Miami, and I'm good in Miami, I'm going to go to Cleveland, I'm good in Cleveland, I'm going to go to LA, and who knows where he goes next. But LeBron clearly does not subscribe to the idea that I need to stay at one place my entire career. But part of that is that because Cleveland was Cleveland. But the point here is that you're making is did Brian Voltaggio give up some of his years by staying in the same place, or did that actually maximize Brian Voltaggio?
I think they both are really good chefs, and I think the answer is it's temperamental. And I'm on my third career or whatever, but everyone's different. It was just, but I hadn't thought about it. I hadn't thought about classifying chefs as being either peripatetic or, hey, I'm going to kind of go not straight and narrow, but I'm going to have, this is who I'm learning under. I'm going to rise in the ranks of this operation for 10 years. And then maybe I go out on my own versus just sort of collecting experiences, which can be kind of jarring and not terribly secure. And you don't know where your paycheck's coming from next year or whatever.
So let's get to Ash.
Yeah. I mean, look, I've been saying it for a while. They said it. I love this guy. He might win my trapped in an elevator contest just because he seems such a pleasant man. But man, it's always I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. We always go to him, and it's not even at the end. He doesn't get 25, 30 minutes into the kitchen before the entire thing he either realizes isn't achievable or doesn't think it's achievable or shouldn't be achieved or tried to achieve, but realized he couldn't. And it's just I don't know if it's confidence. It might just be he's bad at the art of estimating what is possible given this time frame and this ingredients and this infrastructure. But I just I love him as a guy, but it's just he just induces so much eye rolling. It's going to be tenderloin with polenta and a cherry glass. By the way, it's not like he's trying to reinvent the wheel here. And then it turns into a cherry corn salad. Blah. Just everything is over promising and under delivering. And it's not happened once or twice or 3 times. This is the enduring theme in this guy's tenure as a Top Chef contestant. And it's frustrating because you do like him, but it's just, come on.
Yeah. And I was so happy to see when Tom Colicchio said it, this is becoming a pattern for you. Ash. Like you decide to do one thing and then you go another, and you don't have time, and you reverse course. You don't really think it through conceptually. And Kevin, you were spot on. You're miles ahead of everyone else on this. You had it on your radar that Ash just doesn't either want to commit, or he commits and just doesn't think about the ramifications. And it's just, you're not fit for this challenge. And he comes in, and if you were going to switch from the polenta, I just don't even mention it. Just don't even mention about the polenta thing, because you're giving them what they want, which is an excuse. And Tom was all over him, being like, look, man, you do this every week. Like, the idea that you had a good idea and then you didn't go in that direction isn't going to help you. In fact, it's going to backfire. And it backfired for him, and they sent him home. But my favorite line of the entire episode was when he sits back in his chair in the stew room, and what does he say? Oh, I forgot flavor.
He's winning.
lost it.
Even when he's losing, he's winning. I like the guy. I feel terrible dragging him on our show every week, because I say, and by the way, we'll get to Where Are They Now, because he's an interesting Where Are They Now. Their other pulling up the rear is, I thought Lorene was going home for that pork rillette.
Yeah.
Cat food, I think was that the previous week? That was this week, right?
That was this week. Described
okay.
as cat food. And I want to ask Kevin, because Toby Young was on this episode too. Where's our girl Gail?
I don't know. I mean, is this the
she's
year?
Been
she
out.
might have been. She delivered a baby, possibly. Is that
maybe?
People get busy. Not everybody can just fly into Vegas for 3 days. Tom,
I know. I miss
can do
her.
that.
I miss her. She's been gone for maybe a few weeks here. So
I'm missing her too. But I have to tell you this. I mean, look. I know he's controversial. I know he has adopted some ideas that are potentially very bad in his sort of winding career, but I'll take Toby any day. That guy's great, Tom.
The shaved armpit and the hairy armpit line.
I mean, he's fantastic. And I think often the biggest assholes are the best Top Chef judges. I'm sorry, but they are.
Yep.
And I love when he's at judge's table. I love when he's critiquing. I loved hairy armpits. I just it's just stylized criticism of food is just a real art form, and he knows how to execute it. So
and Charlie really dunked on Lorene. Like, was really like, do you even know how to make a roulette? And she's like, and he's like, no, you got to poach that shit. And she's like, yikes.
In fact, I mean, it's basically kind of like a confit to kind of come full circle, and it's nothing I would try without knowing. I just wouldn't.
Is she like? Is her usage rate on this season like at 8%?
And you mean in terms of our time on the camera?
Yeah, just like I just forgot about her. Like she's not a very memorable character in the sense.
She seems like a very nice person. Like she reminds me of like half of my female friends. Like she seems really pleasant and smart. And
this is not a knock on her, Kevin.
I don't think she has much of a culinary style, I think, is the issue, Tom.
Yeah, I just when she cooks a dish, I'm not like, you know what, that's gonna win, or you know what, I get that's the type of chef she is. So she's on the bottom as well, and she gets the question from Padma, which is always the kiss of death: is did you taste your dish? And
I would just lie at a certain point. There's only one answer to that question. And now the problem is if you say yes and it's horrible, then you're more culpable, right? So actually, I take this back, right? There is no, if your food is terrible, there is no way to approach that answer. Because if you tried it and it was bad and you knew it was bad, you're an idiot. If you tried it and thought it was good, but it was bad, you're an idiot. If you didn't try it, you're an idiot.
I think you go with the didn't try, because
I don't believe lying is really my issue. So it's a problem.
True.
I don't lie.
So maybe if you know you're cooking up a stink bomb, you just don't try it, and then you have you have plausible deniability.
I would just say, no, I left that for you guys. Sorry. I mean, I know a clunker when I see it. I wasn't going to eat that shit. I deserve to be. As I go home, my only satisfaction is you had to eat it. That's what I would say. Robin with her pork. Well, let's talk about Robin for a second. Just no porkiness is my note. No porkiness. She thin slices pork loin, which is just weird. It's like those weird cold, chilled pork slices you get like on a Eastern European carrier in like when you're flying, and it's just like the gelatinous little thin slices of chilled pork just look awful.
Why would you thinly slice a pork chop? Who likes a thinly sliced pork chop?
Well, it was loin. It was loin.
Whatever. Like, don't do that.
No, you like the sort of you like that weight.
It has a sliminess to it, no porkiness. I mean, that's quite a line there.
Yeah, the problem is like, I looked at her components: apple fennel roulade and a sour cherry coffee demi-glace. Like, that's kind of sounds good. I mean, I like those. That's what you do with a pork loin. Apples are kind of a classic accompaniment, but like, I don't know. Maybe she just can't cook. I mean, there's just sometimes we sit here, sometimes can they finesse up a heavy ingredient? Sometimes we're looking at did they braise it in root beer? Do they know how to do rillette? And sometimes people just don't know how to cook all that well. But Robin, Tom, it is truly interesting, and maybe you have to go through the stats for next week. Has anyone, it's my estimation that except for the team challenges, Robin has been like second or third from the bottom. She is amazing. It's like dodgeball. She's the kid who can hide for a long enough time that the ball's not going to get her, and she kind of inconspicuously slinking off to the side. Or in the old, you don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun the other guy. She's always outrunning one person.
Yeah, that's it. So she, up until this point, has this is her second low. Believe it or not, that's only her second.
Well, that's because she's always paired with really good people and always escapes the low when she's in team competitions.
Right. So maybe she has a good plus minus simply because she's playing with other people that are good with her. So the only other person in the competition that hadn't had a top three was Ash. So Ash and Robin were in the bottom here, and neither Ash or Robin had ever been in the top three yet. And so Ash goes home and delivers the line of the week, which is, I forgot flavor. And I was like, it just slayed me. And it was sad to see him go. And Robin is just hanging on by a thread, and we're getting plenty of drama from Robin. So at least she's delivering that.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. And we're down to 8. Tom, am I wrong? I believe I am right. We are up against Restaurant Wars, are we not?
We are. So
Ash
doesn't get to be a part of the Restaurant Wars coming up here. And, let's do Where Are They Now? Chef Ash Falk from season 6, Las Vegas Top Chef. Where is he now, Kevin?
He is the pitmaster of the very well-regarded Brooklyn branch of the very well-regarded Hill Country Barbecue in New York City. Considered to be one of the best Texas, if not the best Texas-style barbecue in the 5 boroughs. He is the Brooklyn pitmaster. You can go see various appearances, sort of instructing people in the art of smoking meat, and seems to be very happy. Seems to be married. And that's not a bad landing spot. Hill Country is a favorite. Any people who are sentenced to living in New York City, I know from sort of the middle of the country, they love Hill Country barbecue. They do a great brisket. I've been. It's a good spot. So good for him. I didn't realize that smoking meats was sort of his thing, but now apparently it is a vocation.
Yeah, he's a really funny guy. He actually hit us up right when we announced that we were doing this.
And now I feel terrible. I didn't know that, and I've been mean to him.
No, you haven't. You've been balancing out all your critiques.
Calling him like I see him. That's all I'm doing. Just calling him like I see him.
He's a guy who I think would appreciate our commentary on this. I mean, checking his Instagram recently. He's doing stand up, like he's doing open mic night fundraisers. So I think he's part of this whole thing. So Chef Ash, open invitation if you're listening. I'm going to reach out to you because we'd love to have you on the show. And now that you've been eliminated, I feel like you can get a lot of stuff off your chest. And this is
come on. Yes, he should come on.
He's great. I mean, he's one of those that I would like to have him on every episode. I think he's kind of like, he's Stephanie Smar from last season. His one-liners, the commentary, he's fantastic. So he is the honorary Stephanie of this season. Last thoughts here, Kevin. My only thing is we know who's legit in this competition. It's so clear when you get to this point. Kevin wins. the Pig and Pinot. He's in the top in the the quick fire. Brian, the Voltaggio brothers, Kevin and Jen, we're setting us up for a showdown here in the second half of the season.
I love the top of this field. I really do. Jen, by the way, if I'm drafting for Restaurant Wars, look, I know Michael Voltaggio is ridiculously talented. There's only one person I absolutely want on my team of those 8 people, and it's not even close. Yeah,
I kind of feel like Michael, while he might have the best vision, I don't know if he's the best leader, simply because he's a ball hog. You know that if you're going to have him on his team, he's going to be on your team, you got to give him every open shot. Like you have to give him the ball. Whereas I think Jen is more of an egalitarian, like offense. She knows what she wants to do, but she's going to make sure everyone's delegated in the right role.
Oh yeah. She's who I want running. I don't know if you could do a front, back, and line. Like her running everywhere. I would like to clone her for a Restaurant Wars contest, because I think it's truly one of the great Restaurant War. If that were in its own show, and actually that would be really interesting. Could you imagine, and you switch up the variables? So I'm just thinking out loud here. Could you have a season of Top Chef that just went from one Restaurant Wars to the other? You could start with, okay, a food truck, teams of 2, okay, which I think they've done. So variations of Restaurant War. We just call the show Restaurant Wars. Then you do, okay, you got to do a full stand at a ball game or something. So you have thousands of people coming in and out, right? So that's one. You then get to various, tasting
food
menu
truck
or like I said, but you kind of work up to more classical formats. But I would watch Restaurant Wars every day.
You just can't invite Kevin Gillespie.
Can't invite Kevin Gillespie, but there's so many. It's hard infrastructurally to do that if you're a show, but I think I would watch a Restaurant War every night if I could. It's so interesting.
Hey, I think it's time to call up your buddy.
My buddy?
Next week. Hershey.
Oh, Hershey Ash. All right, Hershey. Hershey's getting a call. Hershey is getting a call.
Let's bring him in out of the bullpen, Hershey Ash, for next week's episode of Restaurant Wars. We got to do it.
I'm going to buy him episode, whatever number it is, season 6 on Amazon, send it to him, and this is fun. Very excited about this. We will get at Hershey Ash. We can't promise it. Hershey has other commitments, but we will try to make this happen.
Got to make it happen. All right, Kevin, take us out.
For Tom Haberstroh, this is Kevin Ornaments, and this is Pack Your Knives.